Stop now. No, nothing can move you.
Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Brown Show. We're going to get right into it. Before we start, I want you to hit the like button. Hit the like button. I want to get the algorithm up a little bit. Hit the share. Make sure you subscribe because they will unsubscribe you. I know you think you subscribe, but don't assume you subscribed. They will unsubscribe you. So go make sure that you're still subscribing. If you're not, subscribe again. Hit the notification bell. Make sure it's always on always. That way when the video is dropped, whoop, there it is. Some of the videos I'm going to put out, I'll come up here and forewarn you. It's going to be a topic of extreme discussion. Not going to be able to do it here. So I'm going to tell you, go over to my account on Rumble and watch these particular videos. They're a little more lenient on the topic at hand because I'm going to talk about some of the things that I saw here in New York concerning Pride Week that I'm not for. I'm not going to tolerate that. I'm not going to be silent about, especially when it comes to the kids being at the parade. Not going to go into detail, but we're going to talk about that. Adults, you do your adult things, you do what you like. But when it comes to kids, nah, I don't play that. But we're going to talk about that on the next episode over there on Rumble. So make sure you subscribe to the Rumble account, Bob TV. And again, hit the like button and hit the notification bell. We want to make sure the algorithm is up because I want to talk about a very important subject. I was going to talk about this about a month ago. TD Hip Hop, he did a real good story on this, but some of you probably don't know who TD Hip Hop, but he's going to go more into detail about this situation. But this is basically about the farmers, the black farmers in the United States and how they're being railroaded, not just by the Republicans, but by the Democratic Party themselves. The gentleman that you see right here is a very important a man when it comes to you eating. That's right. You got to eat, man. This is my man, John Boyd. He is a activist when it comes to farming. And he's been at the forefront of trying to do whatever he can to get funding to the farmers of America, specifically for black farmers who's being discriminated. Now, I'm going to deal with this critical race theory because a lot of people yelling CRT don't know what the hell they're talking about. CRT doesn't have to do with somebody hollering racism. If you see somebody violating your rights because of your color, they are racist. You need to call them out. You need to call out white supremacists. You need to, there's a difference between racists and white supremacists. Now, some racists ain't got on that level to be considered white supremacists. White supremacy is a system. It's kind of like a religion, a faith that some people subscribe to. But being a racist, that's another story. That's just somebody who just don't like you for your skin color. White supremacism they go beyond that. They hate you so much that they seek to try to undermine you, try to destroy you, and they come up with laws and things like that to try to hold you down. And that is what the Democratic Party has been doing for a while. They got these laws that if it's not an effort for all people, then forget you. We're going to do this together or forget you. And the Republicans are starting to do that. It's all about America. Forget about you, the individual in America, you, the individual lineage, you, the individual race, you, the individual religion in America. It's about America. They expect you to throw your color away, which you can't. They expect you to throw your religion away, which you can't, and your faith away, which you can't. Not if you really believe it, not if you hold it dear to your heart. So in this effort of making sure that the black farmers get the financial due services they need. See, what's going on is these black farmers have been hit hard since COVID. And they were supposed to get federal funding, and they did pass a bill to provide federal funding for struggling farmers. Now, struggling farmers don't necessarily mean black. Struggling farmers is just anybody farming that's struggling. You can be a Chinese farmer, Asian farmer, but the hurt pain is definitely going on hard in the black farms. And what they end up doing is putting them in a position where they have to sell off some of their land just to survive because they're not getting the funding that the government's supposed to give them. And you know me, I'm a proponent. I pay taxes in the system. When it's time for me to get a return, I expect to get a return. Nevertheless, leave my taxes alone. Don't be sending my taxes to Ukraine and all these other countries when we got work to do right here. That is not fair. So John Boyd is on that tip. I'm telling you, He is in the cutting edge of handling these matters. And give me a moment. He's on the cutting edge of handling these matters, and he's still getting pushed back. He's still getting pushed back. Now, if you get a chance to go to this location, John Boyd, he has a website. Go to johnboydjr.com. I'm going to go through some of these things. You won't be able to see it here because I'm having an issue with what's going on with my phone. With my computer. So John Boyd Jr. Is fighting for black farmers everywhere. He's supported by, he's asking people to support the black farmer. It said Boyd would not be supporting President Biden's reelection campaign. Boyd will not be supporting presidential Biden reelection campaign. Now, if you go to John Boyd Jr. website, he's been pretty much lock, stock, and barrel with the Democratic Party. He's been rubbing shoulders with some of the most elitists of Democrats, Chuck Schumer, you name it, trying to do whatever he can to get in there to get the finances that these black farmers need. Now, I'm not going to talk about all farmers because even though this bill that came out with this Inflation Reduction Act, there were some provisions in there for farmers who struggle that are minorities. And minorities could be anybody. It could be a white woman. That's considered a minority. It could be an Asian. It could be a black person. It doesn't necessarily mean one source, and that's black. But yeah, it's the black farmers that support the most. We got these Chinese international coming into this country, buying up these lands, and they're getting grant funded. And they're taking that money and buying the land off the black owners. And I'm telling you, black owners, don't you ever sell your land. I know it get tough, but if you got to go out there and get a job or whatever, you don't sell your land to nobody. Nobody. Now, in a May 5th article, and this is on John Boyd Jr. website, it said, Boyd would not be supporting President Biden's reelection campaign. And I was told that almost 100,000 more farmers say they're going to follow Mr. Boyd. Excuse my language. In Boynton, Virginia, President Biden, his team in the White House, AG Secretary Tom Vilsack, USDA Equity Czar, Dr. Dwayne Goldman, and Deputy Director Assistant and Secretary for Civil Rights must take personal responsibility. They must take personal responsibility. They must take it. And one way to make sure they take it is don't vote for these fools for a debacle that has American farmers and farms foreclosure. The Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, is the president's legacy. And the fate of thousands of black, Native Americans, and other farmers of color, hate that. No, leave it black. I know now the blacks. The reason I say that is because the black farmer is suffering the most, so they need to aid the most. So to be talking about this all lives matter and kumbaya and we are the world right now ain't gonna help them get what they need. Everybody else is getting what they need, but the black farmers. This money that's through a bill that was passed, most of that money is going to people. Primarily, it's going to go to people who are not from this country, like they always do. All our money is always going to help somebody else, but never us. It said John has been left out of the relief efforts enacted by Congress to save distressed borrowers from farm foreclosures. I repeatedly urged to no avail President Biden to honor his commitment to us and those thousands of black, Native Americans, and other farmers of colors who are being forced into bankruptcy. Brother, you need to stop that, okay? Let's focus on getting your black farmers what they need because they're the one hurting the most. Then once they get everything they need, then if you want to, you can advocate for everybody else. But right now, the black farmers are the ones suffering the most, and the black farmers need to have a 100% laser focus on their issues versus anybody else. And we got people like that that's trying to deflect. Now, I'm not crapping on John Boyd, but you got to stop this. Black farmers first. Black first. Because they're the one first in suffering. They are. Now, I'm going to go to an interview that Boyd did on the failed Black News Channel, BNC. The failed Black News Channel since Byron Allen bought up that particular company. He all merged it together under the grill. And we're going to go to a video of John Boyd talking about his struggles and his dealings that he had to deal with through the federal government to try to get the money that his family so desperately need, and not just his family, but all families.
20 years of advocacy by black farmers, Congress passed one of the most sweeping AIDS programs for disadvantaged farmers in the nation's history. As part of the president's pandemic stimulus bill, black...
Now, before I go into this, saying that they passed the biggest and the most enormous and gigantic and colossal package don't mean that it's going to the right place, man. Don't start with these big perpendicular words telling us what Biden did and he passed it. You can pass it, but if it's not being distributed in the proper place, it means nothing. Nothing. Joe Biden passed it. It's big, but if it's not going to black community, the most damaging farming community in the country, then it means nothing.
Farmers were set to receive $4 billion in federal funds after years of being marginalized. But now, nearly a year later, black farmers have still not seen a dime of those funds, which are being held up by lawsuits filed by white farmers, arguing that the bill actually racially discriminates against them.
Boy, I tell you, Charles Blow, man, that LGBTQ is flaming through that brother, man. He might well have a rainbow pin on his jacket right now, just flaming through. Hey, brother, it's all right. Do your thing, man. That's your life. That's your choice. I'm a born-again Christian that's trying to live for God as much as I can, but keep messing up and falling down. But I ain't going to give up. I might cuss you out and smack you around a couple times, but I'm going to ask you to forgive me, and I'm going to ask God to forgive me. But back to this.
According to a new report, In the Hill, fourth-generation farmer and president of the National Black Farmers Association, John Boyd Jr., says he's not going to go away, and he's calling on the White House to follow through on a meeting he says he was supposed to have with President Biden, but has yet to take place.
Once again, these lying sons of a gun always they use these tactics to try to keep us in line and keep us quiet by saying, "Oh, I'm gonna meet with you. Just shut it up. Shh, relax, calm down. You don't have to ask for reparations. You don't have to do none of that. Just calm down. I got you. Relax. I got you. Relax. Calm down. I'm gonna do this for you." That's what Obama did. 2012. Look here, if you just wait, I get some things done. I have no other reason. Can't run for another 4 terms. So I'm going to be doing some big things for you, and big, and just relax, take it easy. And that's what they're doing to him. They calmed them down and never promised. They made the promise and never delivered, just like they did, the black leaders in the Zoom meeting and the whole 9 yards. Ain't did nothing. But you want to try to hold us back to keep a voice. Oh, I'm going to meet with you, Ice Cube. Yay. I'm going to meet with you, Ice Cube, so we can talk about this black agenda. I ain't met with him yet. Here we are about to go on another 4 years, and he going to act like he going to meet him, and he ain't going to meet him. And I'm telling Ice Cube and anybody else, we ain't falling for the old okey doke. None of that weight. Blast them all out. I don't care what happened. I'd rather die trying to achieve the possible than live in the mediocre. I'd rather die trying to kill this duopoly system than to try to maintain it like most of you guys are. Get out of here with this stuff. But look here, me and Joe, we're gonna sit with you and we're gonna discuss this. And you can bring your cowboy hat, I'll bring mine. I'm broke. We can go down Brokeback Mountain. Yes, sir.
And joining me now to discuss is National Black Farmers founder and president, John Boyd Jr. So, Mr. Boyd, tell me about the latest on your talks and interactions with the White House and the Agriculture Secretary.
I got none, man. I got none.
Well, so far, last year we spoke about this after the 4th of July break on your show, where I spoke to then President Biden at the White House during the 4th of July celebrations, who committed to having a sit-down meeting with me at the White House to discuss the failed payments to black farmers, the $4 billion in debt relief to black farmers. And so far, that meeting has not transpired. And I'm calling on the president now on your show.
That's right. Now, this man is bold, just like Ice Cube. Now, these Negroes been saying they're going to be mean. They said, look here, we'll meet with you. Just calm down, relax. Don't be making no noise. You're going to cause us to lose black votes. So just relax. We're going to meet you. We got you. We're going to do it. We got your back. We're going to do it. We're going to meet you. And we're going to fellowship, and we're going to break bread and all that kind of stuff, eat dinner, and we're going to go over this thing. He ain't did it with Ice Cube. He ain't did it with John. He ain't did it with you. None of us black people have gotten anything we want from this administration. What we personally want for this administration. Everything we ask for something, oh, it's divisive. It's going to cause an issue. What about the other person? Well, I don't give a crap about that. You owe us. And it's time for you to pay the piper. Nobody's going to, oh, Jesus, let me calm down. And fools like Coleman Hughes go on to MSNBC. We're going to talk about that fool soon. Talking this crash. Dude, you not even, probably 9 times 10, you're not even foundational. Your parents probably came here post 1970s. My family been here. Been dealing with this mess. And you just coming in here, ain't been here, I don't know how long. Your mom and dad ain't been here how long. And yet you're going to come up here and try and tell us what we deserve and what we do not deserve. Man, if I ever catch you on the street, it's on sight, dude. That foolishness. On sight.
To have a formal meeting during the month of February, where all of these crises that are affecting black farmers, the $5 billion of debt relief that we didn't get, PepsiCo just announced that they wouldn't provide any contracts to black farmers, and we are
now. PepsiCo said they're going to take some of their money. They're going to donate to try to help the farm. You know, they need a tax write-off. That's what wealthy people do. It was going to get this money to the black farmers. Nope, reneged. Went back on their word, just like Joe Biden, go back on his word, just like all these numbnut politicians. They tell you one thing and never going to deliver. And then you're going to say, what's the Republicans that's stopping us to do that? Yeah, and that's what you want. It's part of your plan.
Announced a boycott against them. The NFL halftime show, we're boycotting them as well. They're sponsored by PepsiCo. And these are the real issues that are facing black farmers. We can't get the contracts. We can't get access to credit at USDA. We can't get the $4 billion that I spent 30 years lobbying for in Congress, where white farmers are now suing us.
30 years he's been lobbying for funding that they wasn't getting. It was going to the white farmers mostly, and a few Asian and Arabs, but it was going to the white families first. And as soon as we make a demand and we put the pressure on the president and anybody else, they fold and begin to give us the demand. These fools are once again gonna get jealous and gonna sue the black farmers because they're demanding assistance. Are you freaking kidding me, man? These people are stupid.
And 12 different complaints, and the court injunctions that's held up in Florida and Texas right now, as we speak, are affecting the lives of black farmers. We're facing foreclosure. The Department of Agriculture is still sending out letters, Charles, trying to collect the monies that we're supposed to be getting debt relief on. So black America needs to wake up and really see what's happening to the plight of black farmers, the oldest occupation in history for black people in the United States.
And speaking on that, what we need to do, we need to encourage our kids to get involved with 4-H, get involved with farming. Man, right now, people are making big money farming weed and things like that. There's so many things you can farm and that the public needs. And we need more kids being inspired to become farmers, be inspired to become truck drivers, to be not just become a rap artist and all and play ball. I mean, you can do that, but always have that solid foundation just in case. Just in case you don't get that hit, just in case you need to have some solid foundation. They're not even talking to our kids, black kids, about being farmers. Yet we need farms. We need farmers. We need people like this guy. And this guy's doing whatever he can to get the funding. And because they want to play around with this thing, this brother's stepping out and calling you out. Joe Biden, everybody. It don't matter. You owe us. You say you were going to give it to us. I don't care if they plan on suing me or not. I don't care if it's unpopular or not. Run me my money, man. I got farms to deal with.
You told The Hill that you were filing amicus briefs in different courts to fight the lawsuits by these white farmers who are arguing reverse discrimination. So what is the latest on that, and how does the timeline look? As you just said, you know, people are getting bills on the money that they're supposed to be forgiven for. You know, what is the timeline? How long are they going to have to continue to pay these bills?
And that's what I was talking about with the Agriculture Secretary, Secretary Vilsack. I told him that those letters should never have went out to black farmers. It's too confusing. And now they're trying to send out another letter on top of the one that you just sent out trying to collect on. In all reality, Charles, we should have the money. We should have the debt relief. And that's what people.
These guys should have the debt relief because the law was passed for them to have the debt relief. And even though it's said for those who are struggling, minority families, we all know that whenever they say that, the majority of the so-called minority family, we don't like to identify with the minority because, you know, we would have been the majority if we wouldn't have bought into, if they didn't genocide us left and right and taught us about abortion and getting rid of your children, and at the same time telling us, look, don't have no children. You can go be with a man. You can go a woman can be with a woman. A man can be with a man, but don't encourage heterosexual relationship that produces children naturally. Now, this man is demanding that we get what's ours, man. And yet you gonna come and want our support and we ain't got one red dime? Run me my money, man, then we'll talk. Right now we can't talk. You're undermining me. You're playing foolish games with me. I got a family to feed. I got a nation to feed. And you got nerve to be riding around doing these punk games. And I got China on my back trying to buy my property and all these other people trying to buy my property. Man, get out of here.
People don't understand white farmers don't have to go through this kind of process to get relief from the United States Department of Agriculture. But the very time we got a little bit of aid after 30 years of lobbying, white farmers quickly jumped up and said that it was reverse discrimination. Never in my 39 years of advocacy, never did I say.
So they use the critical race theory mass, reverse racism. How's it a reverse racism? You've been getting the money. But as soon as black man try to ask for money, you want to yell, well, y'all being discriminated. That's what they're going to try to do with reparation. We're demanding what this country is owing, but you're going to say this is divisive. You know, people going to think come on, man, you can't do this. You're being discriminatory toward other people than black. And I'm telling you, we got to stand 10 toes down and continue to move forward and not follow for this mess. Yeah, man, whatever. You want to call me a racist, whatever. I need money. Y'all been getting most of the money out of this package. We ain't got ours. And it's time for us to get ours. And I'm not selling you my land, Chinese dude. Go carry you behind somewhere else. I'm fighting for my land. This government owes me. And I'm going to keep this building. I'm going to keep this property because it's mine. And I'm going to keep this farm. And I'm not letting nobody buy my farms because it's mine. I got to put the crop up here. I got to till the ground. Let me keep going.
That white farmers shouldn't receive relief that they're qualified for. I've never done that. I've simply said we want the same as. We want the same contracts with Pepsi provides to white farmers. We want the same relief that white farmers are getting. And they were the ones that were getting the debt relief the whole time. I want to remind the viewers of that. That's what the whole issue was.
See, the white counterparts, the white farmers, they the one was getting the debt relief. And yet they're not considered a minority. Yet you got other people coming from other parts of the world. They's farming too. Always farmed in their country. So they come here and want to farm too. They expect something for that. And yet a lot of times you letting this guy skip the head of the citizen. The person who owns the farm, The person who was born here. You let people that come from out of states come buy up the land, and you're going to continue to send them support financially while we struggle? The devil is a doggone liar.
With debt relief. White farmers was receiving debt relief. Black farmers was receiving farm foreclosure notices in the mail, while white farmers was getting debt relief for all of these years. They got all of the money, and now we're saying we need our money, and we need it now. No more delays, no more stall tactics, and I'm going to fight this thing all the way to the Supreme Court. I'm not going to give up. I know that the odds are stacked against us, but we're going to continue to press forward. And, you know, Charles, God is in charge here. God is in charge here. There's a motion for summary judgment coming up, I believe, in the state of Florida pretty quickly here. And we're organizing to fight against that motion as we speak right now.
Now, I'm going to stop right there. Great interview. He's going after Charles. He need to point the finger at Charles and tell him it's your party that's doing that. It's your party that's doing this to the black farmers. They the one giving, you know, when you going to fix this thing? Because if you don't fix it, we're going to fix you. We're going to fix you. You can go back home. John has motivated and mobilized over 100,000 farmers to back him up in this sentiment and saying, I'm with my man over here. I'm with Boyd. I paid taxes into the system. You promised to give it to me, and you haven't gotten it. I need money, and I need to teach other people how to go get what's rightfully theirs also. The nerves of white farmers to sue this black man because he's asking you to honor his demand. Give me the money that you owe us farmers so we can get back to business. Where's the money? Run it to me, man. What are you waiting on? We're in a crisis right now. We're in a food crisis right now. You know you need food, and I can't deliver the food because you want to play these games with me by giving the money over here to my white counterparts, but you ignoring us on this side of town. I mean, if you go look at the website of John Boyd Jr., you'll see him with Benjamin Crunk fighting for money from the Democrats. He's pictured with Chuck Schumer. He's not with Trump on most of these pictures. Now you got a picture of Joe Biden up here. It's just a lot. This man he knows these political figures, but these political figures don't want to do nothing for him. The bottom line is this brother's working very hard to make sure the finances go to the black farmers. It is hard being a farmer, and the government is making it harder. And they send the money to everywhere but where it's supposed to be, the citizens of the United States. We got to change that. We got to change that. These black farmers deserve what's rightfully theirs. And he is right. If you don't give us our money, we ain't supporting you. Why? Because we don't need somebody like you in the White House that come up with a bill but can't execute it and can't use the bully pulpit to make sure it's executed. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. We're going to talk more about this. Support black farmers. Go to John's website. Do whatever you can to donate. Support these black farmers. Give them the need that help that they need, because the federal government definitely ain't trying to help these black farmers because Joe Biden don't like black people. And he can tolerate with them. He can be around them all for his own personal reason, but he don't like them. Because if he did, he wouldn't have talked to those so-called religious leaders in a Zoom meeting like that. He would have talked to them with respect. He wouldn't have talked down to them. You need to stop worrying about me and worry about the Mexicans. What? Hey, I'm Bob Brown with the Bob Brown Show. Good morning and good night.